Well, with another very hot week in the valley, we're taking a look at how deadly the heat is becoming here in Arizona. New numbers now from Maricopa County. County has hit a half-year record, 17 heat-related deaths this year. Another 126 deaths are under investigation. This time last year, there were 11 deaths in the first 6 months of 2021. So what happens when your job requires you to be outside? Former NFL player, National Heat Safety Coalition board member, and president of Mission Cooling Products, Chris Valletta, joins us to talk about the effects on the labor community and general economy. Chris, great to see you, man. Good. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you, Scott. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, we say here every day, the heat is no joke. You have to take it very seriously.
Well, you absolutely do. The heat is the #1 weather-related killer in the United States, more than tornadoes and hurricanes combined. You talked about the labor community. It's the third leading cause of death amongst the labor force. In fact, it's not just the health risk it poses, it's also a productivity and output conversation. A worker operating in 91 to 93 degrees at moderate intensity loses 50% of their ability to perform and their output. So that loss, coupled with the losses from actually heat-related injuries, accounts for over $100 billion in economic losses in the United States. And that's projected to be $500 billion by the year 2030. It's a massive problem, but fortunately for all of us, there's something we can do about it.
Yeah, and how do we start? What do companies need to do?
Well, first and foremost, workers need to understand that there really are three main components to staying safe and improving your performance and output in the heat. And this is important for employers because safer workers, you can also have more productive workers. And those three buckets are very simple. First, hydration. I mean, we all know you've got to stay hydrated. A properly hydrated body is a cool body. Second is protection from the sun. If you can provide shade, everything from a hat giving you proper shade to taking a break under a tree or a tent or a pop-up umbrella or something similar. The shade actually helps you feel 10 to 15 degrees cooler because you're out of the direct solar energy of the sun, the UVA, UVB rays. So that's one component. The third, and probably the most important, is cooling. Use things that help keep you cooler. That's what the Heat Safety and Performance Coalition is all about. That's what my company Mission is all about. We make products that help keep you safe and improve your performance. Ultimately, heat-related injuries and deaths are 100% survivable. They're 100% preventable if you take the proper precautions. So all of the losses that these employers encounter throughout the year, and each heat-related injury costs employers between $55,000 and $75,000. And that $100 billion a year could completely go away. And it should go away because this is something that is 100% preventable. And it is why the federal government's taken notice. And they're on the process and in the process to create and put out legislation that's going to effectively require companies to put in place heat safety mitigation policies. And it's a bipartisan effort because of the economic improvement it can have to the country. So safer workers means more productive workers. And that's what the coalition, the Heat Safety and Performance Coalition, is all about. It's what our company Mission is all about. And in Arizona, you particularly have to pay attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are substantial numbers. And I was going to say, I'm sure companies here in Arizona, they're well aware of the heat effect. But as an individual, you have to look out for yourself as well. And I see a lot of outdoor workers wearing long sleeves, things like that, that you would think would make you really hot. But it actually works the opposite to keep you cooler, doesn't it?
It can protect you from the sun, but believe it or not, and we see everything. We see people, full denim,
Right.
long sleeve, heavy clothes. There's versions of those textiles. That's what my company's all about. There's version of those textiles that actually can produce a cooling effect and protect you from the sun. And so you've got to find what works. But remember, especially in Arizona, you had more days over 110 degrees last year. I think it was triple the amount of days over 110 last year than you did just 5 years earlier. We are on the trajectory. You must keep yourself protected. And that means pay attention to your hydration, get in the shade, use cooling products. Also, pay attention to your symptoms. Are you lightheaded? Are you a little bit cranky? Are you irritable? We all know what being too hot feels like.
Right.
Pay attention to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Your insight is very valuable. I believe it's your uncle, Mike, has been a longtime friend of mine. So it is great to finally meet you.
You too, Scott. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care now.